Hello, 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 and welcome back to the channel. This is Jimmy, and thank you for clicking on another video. It's a beautiful day in Maryland, and what a good day to talk about self-love and the importance of putting yourself first. A lot of people might think that's a selfish concept, and I want to talk about why that's not the case. Rohn was one of my favorite motivational speakers, always an extremely optimistic individual. And I'm going to probably butcher this quote, so if I do, feel free to drop in the comments to correct me. But the premise and my main takeaway of the quote, there's two that really stuck to me. One, don't ask for things to be easier, ask for yourself to be better. And I just really like that quote. The situations are what they are. And very rarely do we get to control the situation itself, right? And for me, I don't want the situation to be easier. I've been looking at it. I don't want the rules of the game to change. I want to make myself a better player of the game. And to make yourself a better player of the game takes practice, focus, and discipline. And to have practice, focus, and discipline, there has to be knowing, there has to be belief that what you're doing matters. That what you're doing matters to your inner self. This is why self-love is the most important love that we can give. Because if we can't love ourselves, how do we love each other? How do you love someone else? I often find that people talk to themselves the same way they talk to others, or vice versa, right? People talk to others how they talk to themselves. The limitations and doubts we put on people are the same limitations and doubt we often put on ourselves. The other quote that I think relates to this, and I really love this quote, and I'm gonna probably butcher it again, so feel free to correct me. But I've heard people say, take care of me and I take care of you. And Jim Rohn really challenged to flip that. I'll take care of me so I can show up my best self for you. And you should do the same. And again, that might sound like a selfish quote, but hear me out, because I think this is really, really important. Good morning. How are you? A lot of times we're thrust into situations in life without thinking about it. And then most of the things, all the things that we have in our lives is because we put it there. It's what we've thought about, is what we put energy on. And if you invest in yourself, think about the payoff that you can give your community and those around you. I have some friends that are avid readers. And I mean, some of them read 30, 40 self-help books a year, whether it's around finances, personal development, growth. I consider myself a pretty avid reader. I'm on a mission this year to try and read 60 books, or at least listen to 60 books. And I'm doing great so far. I'm already at 5 books this month, or 5 books for January and 1 in for February. So I need to pick up a little bit of the pace in February. Anytime I'm reading a book, I'm taking something away. And I do believe that reading books is an investment in myself, not necessarily financially, but it's a significant investment of my time that I could be spending doing other things. And the knowledge that I picked up in books, I often find that I share those things freely with my friends. And while they probably haven't read the entire book, I think about what they can take away. And oftentimes they're taking away the main takeaways I have from the book without investing the same amount of time and energy into reading it. Sometimes they do, but I think about how every book I've read, every book my friend has read, how we've shared that knowledge. And together, we have so much knowledge between us. And when he's stuck, I'm able to support them, and then vice versa. And it's because we have two unique experiences where we're always focusing on ourselves. I be a good friend by showing up when they need me, answering the phone when they call, and being that ear and always being willing to speak the truth and provide my perspective. Because my truth and my perspective are my experiences. It's what my education is, what I've read. It's my wins, my opportunities, my failures. All those things collectively make me who I am. And so it's really important for me to be my best self and constantly focus on how do I be the better version of myself every day. And so putting yourself first is not selfish. Actually, there's nothing wrong with being selfish if your mission is to spread your gift. And if you haven't put yourself first, you probably don't know what your gift to the world is. And you should be selfish about finding out what that is so you can give it away and make the impact on humanity as much as you have possible, or as much as you possibly can. Just a few things that I like to do to remind myself that it's important to put myself first is one, I matter in the universe. I think about all the people I come in contact with, whether it's my loved ones, strangers. We all have a responsibility to leave what we come in contact with a little better than we found it. And I can't think of no better way than trying to be the best person I know how to be. Second thing is, I try to remember that everyone is doing the best they can with what they know. There's a lot of times that I'm really frustrated with people, and I try to change that word from frustration to fascination, because people are different. We can hear and see the exact same message and have a bazillion different takeaways, right? 10 people can look at the same video and hear entirely different things. And I think a really good example of that is I recently posted a video that said, Trump's not the problem, you are. And instead of focusing on everything the president is saying, focus on the things you can control. I got a lot of love in that video and I got a lot of hate. There are a lot of people that were frustrated that could not see beyond what I was saying and just focus only on what the president was doing. And the video wasn't about whether the president was right or wrong. It was about what can you do to better the situation by focusing on what you control. But the same situation, the same video can elicit so many different responses based off our perspective, our experiences. And our perspective comes from our subconscious. It's what we think about. It's what we're going through in the moment. And what I'm advocating for is at any moment we can change the channel. At any moment we can choose to see what's possible and focus on what we can control. And that doesn't mean that bad things don't happen. Bad things definitely do happen. But if you look hard enough, there's good in every situation. There's a lesson to be learned in every situation. And we choose whether or not we focus on the trauma or focus on the lesson that we learned. The lesson that we learn to make ourselves better. The Bible consistently talks about as a man thinketh. And I don't know if we really put a lot of energy and perspective in what that means. But we are what we think about. If we're thinking about lack and always coming from a place of scarcity, then everything we ask for is coming from a place of scarcity. We're always going to be chasing the thing we're looking for. And I am a firm believer in that. So linking this back to leadership, leaders, we have a responsibility to always think about what's possible. There's times that you might be thrown in a situation as a leader, and sure, it can be easy to come in and just fire everybody or change the whole team. But where the real value comes in is finding a unique value that everybody can bring to a situation. Because there is unique value. And if you can't do that, how do you help that person find the value they can bring to a situation? And I think a leader is all about bringing the best out of the people they work with. Whatever that best is, that's our job. And there's definitely times we need to hold accountability. But just because the person might have failed with us doesn't mean they're a failure. And you might be that person that can help the individual have a really powerful transformation. So beautiful weather. I'm so glad I got the chance to get out here and shoot another video. I'm actually really excited that video that I was talking about had 130,000 views. So that's the most viewed short I've had, which was a lot of fun. And despite some of the negative comments, that's okay, right? People are entitled to their perspective. We are empowered to be able to disagree, which is the beautiful thing about being in this country, is that we can disagree. We do have the freedom to have an alternate perspective. And it's not to say that anybody's right or wrong. It's your perspective. I just choose to focus on the positive. And how do I make the world around me better? No matter where I'm at, I want to make the world around me better. But that's it, folks. Thank you for clicking on another video. If you've not done so already, subscribe to the channel. And if you found this content helpful, please share it with somebody who needs to hear it. Again, you can change your thoughts. You can change the direction of your life overnight. And we do that by trying to be the best version of ourselves. And if that's something you're having a hard time with, seek out inspiration. Find people living the life that you want. And there's nothing wrong with trying to mimic those behaviors, but you gotta feel good doing it. So thank y'all again for clicking on the video. I'll see y'all soon.